Hello, everybody. Jeremy Clarkson here, hosting the second ever DriveTribe pub quiz. Let me see if I can explain how this all works. It's tricky because when I do Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, there's normally an army of 500,000 people behind the scenes making sure it all runs smoothly. Today, I'm joined by Rachel. Hello, Rachel. Who is, well, she's a motoring journalist and runs Food Tribe, the sister tribe to DriveTribe. Obviously not at work. You're in a bedsit somewhere.
Yeah, bedsit in Maidenhead.
Lovely. I'm in a barn. That makes you feel any better. And also joined by the lovely Lisa, who's under the table as we speak, making sure that I am relaxed. Oh no, Lisa's over there. I've no idea who it is under the table, but it's all marvellous. Hopefully we've got a few people joining us. I think I'm looking at another computer here and my phone. I feel like Lieutenant Uhura. Hopefully we've got a few people joining us. I think I'm looking at another computer here and my phone. That's weird. I'm listening to myself. How is that even possible? Right. So let me just see. Rachel, why don't you talk through how it all works?
Fabulous. So yes, this evening we will have 5 rounds of questions, 5 questions in each round, and we will be covering off general knowledge, a logos round, a true or false round, a history round, and a sports round.
Right, Tico, that's fine. I'll read out the questions then. Yeah.
You are a quiz master.
I know this isn't exactly Captain Tom Moore. We're not walking around our gardens to raise money for charity, but I hope you enjoy it nevertheless. Shall we go to the first question?
Let's go straight for it.
Here we go. It's not there. Is it going to come up on another computer? No.
Yeah, no,
it is. It's a general knowledge, and here we go. I told you this would be chaotic. What is the most consumed manufactured drink in the world? That's the first question, and the idea is you write the answer down on a piece of paper. You could write it on the right-hand side of the screen there, but then everybody would see what you'd written and they'd be able to copy you, unless of course they've looked on Google already. But that's not the point. There are no prizes in this. Oh no, there is a prize. There's no cash prizes though.
No, there's a slightly obscure way of getting a prize. So no prize for the actual quiz, but then we are going to have a bonus mystery round, which we can explain a little bit later, where you can win the priceless, one-of-a-kind, totally unique, signed Jeremy Clarkson potato.
Oh, that's right, from my farm. Yes, that is the overall prize. But basically, you send us at the end, when we go through the answers at the end, you send us what your score is, and then the tie-break art thing, as it were, and then you can win the potato. But anyway, let's move on now to question 2, shall we? You've had long enough to think about that one. And waiting for question 2 while I watch endless people commenting. Water. Yes, water, hardly. Here is question 2. The Spa-Francorchamps racing circuit is in which country? So there, I think, is your motoring question for the evening. As I said, look, there's lots of people are writing down answers on the right-hand side. Obviously, they're morons. You're just giving the answers to other people. Interestingly, a lot of you are giving the wrong answers, but nevertheless, you are simply giving the answers to the wrong people. So while you do that, let's move on to question 3. Bit of a delay, don't know why. We have Wi-Fi in the countryside. Here it is. In a game of English drafts, how many pieces are on the board at the start of play? You played drafts, Rachel?
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, I did do drafts as a kid, mainly because I didn't have the patience for chess.
Oh, I love chess.
Yeah, I thought you'd be a chess man. The
only problem with chess is you can't do it while drinking. If you have one sip of anything, you're just going to lose. Right, but that's enough. That's enough, I think, of the drafts question. Let's move on to question 4. Any minute now. Not sure why there's this delay, but here it comes anyway. Which ranks higher in the Royal Navy? A, captain, or B, commander? In other words, would James Bond, who's a commander, have to salute a captain? Interesting question. And everybody seems to have different ideas of the answer there on the right-hand side. Sammy says Pillock. No idea why. Then we've got AGT, who's just written A for some reason. Here's question 5. What type of pastry is used to make profiteroles? Is that just demonstrating we're cars and food on the...
Oh, yeah, that was for both dynamics.
Food tribe thing. Good. Well, that's good. Is that it then? I think that's it now for general knowledge, isn't it? 5 questions.
Yep, that was it for round 1.
So what's the next section?
The next section is logos. But before that, I've got a few questions for you that have already come in on our super chats. So on our super chats.
What's a super chat?
A super chat is basically where people can pay actual money to have a comment come up in bold, and then we will see it more likely, because obviously there are a lot of comments going around on YouTube at the moment.
What, people are paying for commercial breaks then?
Yeah, just to say things to you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is not something I do of an evening. Right, what have we got then in bold that people have paid to say?
So far, Kavish Maharaj says, shout out from South Africa, which is not a question, but shout out from South Africa.
Are you going down there all right?
Perfect.
That was the worst ever South African accent I have ever done, but there you go. Good of you to join us. You're on the same time zone, broadly speaking, a couple of hours out, but not far off.
Yeah, and we would love to know where else people are in the world right now as well. So please do drop.
They're all over the world, generally speaking.
Yeah, but where are people tuning in from? Let us know. I think we've had people from New Zealand so far. We've got Kenya, all over the place. Lots of people in the US.
Ireland, there's one there from Ireland. Well, there's one here from Ireland sitting. Hello. Yeah, there are people from Denmark, Canada. Look, they're all over. Canada, Netherlands, Colorado, Lincolnshire. Jeez, that is a long way away. Suffolk, Vietnam, wonderful country. Morocco, yeah, people from all over the world are watching. That's good. We've
also got a question from Scott Morrison, who says, "Hi to my dad, and will you ever test the Maloo GTSR?"
No.
There we go. Simple answer.
No, well, I mean, I might do for my Sunday Times column, or I might do for DriveTribe. But as you know, the Grand Tour has changed its format now, and it's just big adventures. So the days of taking a car to the track and bombing around are sort of gone. Yeah, no, I just live here making potatoes now. Right, more questions.
Okay, and we've also got one from Scott Taylor, who says, "What's your favourite rosé?"
I've got a lot actually. I've got some plenty behind me. It's my particular favourite is this one. This is, I don't know if you can see, this is Chateau Leo. Minute is very good. This is a particularly enormous bottle of Whispering Angel that was given for my 60th birthday last weekend. And then I've got a tray down there of what looks like Minute, and I've just had 60 bottles of Leo sent to me earlier today. So I've got enough for tonight, but I don't drink and work. So I'm tea.
There we go, saving that for afterwards. Shall we move on to the fabulous round 2, which is the logo round?
Okie doke. It's difficult to read these out. You have to look at the screen, actually. But here's question 1. Whose logo is this? Tricky one, that. Very tricky.
Yeah.
Is it Hoover? No, wait. No, Coca-Cola. Isn't it? Somebody there has written VW. God almighty, they're good, aren't they? They are good. Right, let's move on to the next one. This is another logo question. And here it comes in 3, 2, 1, now. I took a wild punt. I was wrong. 3, 2, there it is. 1 now.
It's worth a try.
I've got no idea whose logo that is. Yeah. I've never seen that. What's on it?
Yeah, bonus name every single picture and shape that's on the logo.
I don't know. I'll have to have a look, see if anybody's telling me. Oh, yeah, look at all that. Now I know the answer. Thank you very much. Absolutely everybody in the world. I've never seen that. How weird. That's it's a big company. Okay, right. Next question, or next logo, I should say. Let's bring it up. Shall I then take another guess? Oh no, there it is. I know that one. You know that one?
I do know that one. It's a millennial special.
I would have thought that was pre-millennial.
Oh, it was my. Well, we can go into that in the answers. Don't want to give it away.
No, I would have thought that was pre-millennial. I thought that was more my era. A boomer logo. All right, let's have a look at the next one. It's really annoying. I'm sitting here and I can hear Lisa pouring endless glasses of wine. Right, whose logo is that? I know that one. That's not millennial.
No, definitely not.
Definitely not millennial. Okay, that's good. Right, let's move on to the next one. As I say, write all these down. We will be going through the answers at the end. And then you simply send us, I just coughed in a quiz show in a coronavirus pandemic. Right, whose is that one? Yes, as I was saying, do please we'll go out and add up your answers at the end. And then you simply tell us your score, be honest. And then the winner is eligible to win a signed potato from me. Right, whose logo is that one? All done?
Okay.
Any more? Right, that's the end of the logo round. Have we got any more of these questions?
Yes,
I know what one of them's going to be is why hasn't there been the second episode of the Grand Tour?
There you go. Start off by answering that one then.
Right then, well, you may have heard there's a problem, if I'm honest, is the producer of the show, Andy Willman, who also edits it for months and months and months it takes him. He had to take to his bed a few weeks ago with this weird new flu. Barely able to breathe. I'm not actually making this up. He was barely able to breathe. Then he coughed his spleen out on a number of occasions. Was very, very, very poorly. Anyway, the good news is he's better, but all the edit suites and the voiceover suites and all of the places that you use to make television programs are shut. We are working on ways to get around that because we have filmed the program. It's 94% edited. We haven't put voices to it yet, but we can do that, we think. And as soon as we've got all that together, we will get it to Amazon, hopefully on time when we said we would, despite the problems. And then it's up to Amazon, obviously, it'll be their baby, as to when they put it on the screens. So that's where we're at. The only real problem we had is we were supposed to have gone to Russia 2 weeks ago to film the next one, but that really wasn't possible. Well, it might have been possible to get there, but it sure as hell wouldn't have been possible to get back. So that's on hold for the time being. But we're using the time to prepare for the one after that. So, you know, we continue onwards. Have you got any questions?
Yeah, got a couple more super chats heading your way. Tim asks, what's the best BMW M car?
Incredibly dreary question, Tim. The best M car is either the very first M5, you'll know the code for it, the 286 horsepower one, or was it 284? Or possibly the M2, which I really liked. We got a more interesting question? One that covers lots and lots. I'm sure Tim will have an M car and was hoping that I'd say the one he's got. I hope I did, Tim. I hope I made your evening. But those are my favourites. Anyway, let's move on to something else.
Super chat from Sunez, who says, where is the farm show? We need it while we're all indoors. Yes,
unfortunately, a farming year is a year. We started in September and we'll finish, obviously, in September when the harvest is in, if it's in. As has been pointed out to me, I couldn't have picked a worse year to start farming. We had the wettest planting season on record. I mean, the wettest, not just slightly, but by miles on record. And just as soon as the rain stopped, everybody was told to go home and stay indoors. So, God, it's been difficult. And, well, I can show you, actually. Look how much mud I've got on my trousers. I don't know if you can see this, but that's life of a farmer. Completely covered in mud from head to foot. I just put this jacket on to make me look like a game show host. But yeah, it's muddy out there. But the farming is continuing, and the farming show will one day be available for your viewing pleasure on Amazon Prime. Right, what's next? Any more?
I was going to say you weren't wearing that jacket while farming today then. That's good to know.
No, I just popped this on. I thought, you've got to stop being a farmer now, Jeremy. You've got to start being a game show host on the internet. And then as soon as this is over, I'll take it off, get naked, maybe roll in some chip fat,
Nice.
do what country people do.
I mean, it is a spectacular jacket.
It is. I had it made in Nam when I was over there last year. I think it was made to measure in 24 hours, and it's a lot of material. And I think it cost about £15. So I was really ripped off.
No.
So if you're ever in Vietnam, go to a place called Hoi An. I'm sure some of you will have been there, and pop into a tailor's called Yali, Y-A-L-L-I. They're fantastic, really good tailors. Okay.
And final super chat of this round. Dew and Son has said, what car would you drive to your daughter's wedding? And would you wear that jacket to your daughter's wedding?
Well, that's an interesting question, since my daughter got engaged about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. So her wedding is imminent. And I undoubtedly will be wearing tails, not this. And what car? I'm not quite sure. If it's left up to her, it'll be a Range Rover Sport. I know she's particularly partial to it. Or her other favourite car is an AC Cobra.
Nice.
Which you may say Cobra, I say Cobra. Or actually, she's very partial to a Shelby Mustang. So it'll be either a Range Rover Sport, a Shelby Mustang, or an AC Cobra. That's what she'll go in, or go away in. Actually, I've probably just given it. She might be watching. It's a bit worrying. My phone will undoubtedly bleep in a minute with a note from her. Anyway, so it's a very happy time for the Clarksons because she's engaged to a very nice man, and we're all very happy.
Yeah, we met him while we were filming the DriveTribe and FINGERNAILS videos, and he seems very lovely.
He is very lovely, yeah. He sure is.
Right, shall we ask some more questions?
Yes, let's do that. It's a good idea. This is the true or false round. Here we go.
We're expecting some good scores in this round. 50-50.
Where's the internet so very slow? I mean, I'm only about half a mile away from a former Prime Minister, so it zooms along here. Oh, there we go. Finally, the London internet's caught up. Right, ready? Question 1. Lightning never strikes in the same place twice. True or false? There's an interesting one on that. We were hosting a show in South Africa, actually, in Johannesburg. Ooh, God, must have been 10 years ago. And we built an enormous grandstand for the crowds that didn't come. But anyway, we built an enormous grandstand out of scaffolding poles. And there was the biggest thunderstorm you've ever seen. And I remember sitting there thinking, if one of these lightning strikes hits that, and it had hit one of the cameramen already, he was okay, thankfully. But if it hits that, that will be the world's biggest electric chair. I mean, we will fry 5,000 people simultaneously. But luckily, well, we didn't. Not luckily, we had to evacuate it and then abandon the show. So that was all rather tragic. But anyway, that was the question. Question 2. Here we go. Another true or false question. If you cry in space, the tears stick to your face. True or false? Does anyone know? How can you possibly know that? Who's ever cried in space? You know, a heroic astronaut. We've all seen the right stuff. So crying. I've seen Gordo Cooper crying. There's Alan Shepard, Gus Grissom. They didn't cry. Armstrong. Look at Jim Lovell. None of them cry. Let's see Tim Peake blubbing. So there's no way of knowing whether that's true or not. But so let's move on, shall we? Question 3. And it's coming up once somebody's put some peat on the boiler that fires the internet in London. And there it is. Napoleon Bonaparte was extremely short. True or false? again, I'm going to have to take issue with that because we're going to have to define extremely short. I mean, in my world, anyone under 6'3" is extremely short. James May is extremely short. How do we define extremely short? I have no idea, but anyway, it's up to you. True or false? Let's have a look what people are just saying. True, true, false. Hammond is short. No, really? It's somebody's just put Hammond. I never noticed. Hammond is not relevant. Absolute, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, yeah, people are guessing away there, all different answers. Let's have a look at the next one. False, 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 true, true. Hammond is, yes. Here we go. Your fingernails and hair keep growing after you die. True or false? It's not important, but anyway, the question is that true or false? That your fingernails and hair keep growing after you die. Let's move on to the final one, shall we, in the true or false round? Here it is. The inventor of the light bulb was afraid of the dark. It was Edison, wasn't it? I believe. Was he afraid of the dark? True or false?
It would be a good reason to invent a light bulb.
Yeah, was it Edison?
I think, yeah.
Love grows where my rosemary goes. Now, if anybody can tell me who sang that, so let's just see if anyone can come. Love grows where my rosemary goes. Anybody? No, nobody knows the answer to that. It was, in fact, Edison Lighthouse. I believe 1969, but I could be wrong on that. It was a damn good pop song when I was 9. Right, okay, that's next round is history, but do you want to do some of your questions?
Yeah, I mean, first question is just from me, and can you give us a rendition of that song?
No.
Okay, fine. It was worth an ask.
Nobody's tuning in. Oh, good, I hate to hear Jeremy Clarkson singing. That would ruin our evening completely. I've lost all the notes. I've spent all afternoon making notes, and I've somehow managed to cancel them, which is incredibly stupid, isn't it? Wait a minute.
It's all going perfectly.
Right, so no, I'm not going to sing Love. Oh, hang on. Yes, weirdly, I've just found them again, so that's good. Right, excellent. Fire away. What's the next question?
Okay, so just a couple of comments on the super chats. We've got Laura Gow who says, "Good day, Clarkson from Australia. It's 4:10 a.m. here."
Ah, mate.
Yeah, more accent opportunities. Max says, "Shout out from Idaho, the potato capital of the USA."
Well, I know. What, from a potato king in the UK to a potato king in the USA? Howdy, partner.
And we've got Gesnix who has said, "Do you remember blowing up a car wash with the convertible Renault Espace? I used to work next door to that. It's in Bedford and still going strong."
Is it? No, I do remember extremely well. We set it on fire. I believe that's the first incident of a car wash catching fire, and then ran bravely away. No, it was good. We'd been to, was it Woburn Safari Park, I think, just before that. And monkeys had come. Then we entered in a car wash. Those were the days when we were famous. Anyway, that was a good laugh. I enjoyed that one.
And quite briefly, Potter has said, "Jeremy, are you wearing that jacket for a bet?"
No, I've already said I wanted to look like I was taking this whole thing seriously, like I'd prepared. And so I popped this on. It won't be on as soon as this is over. It's off. It's off. Anything else? Or are we going back to history?
Do you think it makes you look a little bit like the Tiger King?
Hey, have you seen the follow-up to the Tiger King? They've done a sort of supplementary show, which I watched last night, because we're all desperate for things to watch. And it's really good. There's a very, very endearing American comedian called, I think it's Joel something or other. I looked him up. He's born in Rome. I even checked him out, but it's fantastic. He sort of catches up with all the characters, not obviously Joe Exotic, but all the other characters, about how they, what's happened to them since the show was shown. It's really good, really good. And no, I haven't got a mullet, but what a great, I know Netflix are the enemy of the rivals and so on, but what a great series that was. Fantastic.
Yeah, It's absolutely that shit.
That and Ozark Series 3.
I've just started on Series 1.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
Right, shall we ask some history questions?
Yes, let's go. Right, here we go. According to the World War II poster, what did careless talk do? Let me read that again. According to the World War II poster, what did careless talk do? Good. Right, let's move it on to the next one. Somebody there thinks it was Ozark is great. I know, absolutely fantastic. In which year did the United States enter the First World War? Your clue, they were late for that one as well. Sorry, Americans, but you're always late for the world wars. You were even late for the coronavirus, I thought. I mean, everybody else was closing down long before you were. Right, which emperor of Japan ruled for more than 60 years in the 20th century? Which emperor of Japan ruled for more than 60 years in the 20th century? Okie doke. Question 4 coming up. Who was the last wife of Henry VIII? God, I hate those. Who was the last wife of Henry VIII? Wait a minute, I'm working this one out. Do you know it?
Yeah, I think I do know that one, only because it was drilled into me at secondary school.
Well, it was drilled into me at secondary school as well, but that was 400 years ago. Right, here we go. Question 5. Who had a horse called Bucephalus? Who had a horse called Bucephalus? Working that one out as well. It isn't who I think it is, if you see what I mean. Well, there's an obvious person, but I don't think it's... Oh, I know who it is. You can ask me that one at the end. I'm pretty certain I know who that is. Righty-ho, that's the end of the whatever round that was. So that's good. Have we got another round? Oh, yeah, we've got the
one
sport.
more round.
Oh, this will be good. Welcome, Australians, and our sport. So you should be good at this bit, I hope. But do you want to just take a small break and ask me some more questions?
Yeah.
I apologise to the Americans for saying cruel things about being late for everything.
There we go. Got a super chat from Andrew who said, can you please say hello to John and Catherine in Totno from Andy and Fairy in Nottingham? Catherine's an NHS nurse and we think she is amazing.
Hello, was it John and Catherine?
Yes.
Tom. Hello, John and Catherine in particular. Keep up the good work. We're all rooting for you and all very grateful to you for what you're doing. It's extraordinary, I think, that, you know, soldiers sign up to be in the front line, to put themselves, as we're always being told, in harm's way. Nurses tend not to do that, and yet it's nurses who are in the front line in this awful epidemic that we're stuck in the middle of. So well done. I salute you. I know everyone in the world salutes every nurse in the world. Good. That's, yeah, we all think that.
And from a very serious question to a car question from Reese, who says, what's your opinion on the new DBX?
Well, weirdly, I'm unable to test cars at the moment for obvious reasons. They can't get them to me and I can't go anywhere. Actually, I could go in with them. I've got a press card. But anyway, I haven't driven the DBX. I saw it a long time ago. It's extremely pretty and surprisingly inexpensive. I don't mean it's cheap, but it costs a lot less than I thought it was going to cost. So I'm looking forward to driving that one, actually.
Nice. And if you weren't driving cars, Archie wants to know, what job would you do instead of TV or broadcasting?
Well, I'm doing farming, and I'm absolutely useless at it. I mean, I'm trying at the moment because of there's going to be a shortage of vegetables in the UK because we can't get enough people in to pick them. So I thought, right, well, I took half of one field out of spring barley, which makes beer, which I thought I won't be able to sell because all the pubs are shut. And there's going to be a glut of spring barley anyway. So I thought I'll plant some vegetables. And I've spent, well, I say we, I mean other people, have been planting them on their hands and knees now for 2 weeks. And I'm trying to look at it, about 80% are now dead. 75% are now dead. So it's all been a bit of a disaster. But some of it's coming along. Most of the sheep still. Most of the sheep are still alive. Sorry, Rachel, what were you saying?
Oh, sorry, I was just saying it was looking pretty good when we came around. Had a look.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, I've made a few messes, but no, it's all going along. Got quite a lot of mud on my trousers, but, I'm fine.
but the jacket's looking clean.
Yes, exactly.
And Taki said, if we end up in an economic apocalypse, yep, or Mad Max style scenario, what would you want to drive?
Well, it wouldn't be a V8 Interceptor. Although something along those lines. I mean, something like a Bowler Wildcat. That would. I mean, I know that's a kind of Hammond thing, but as a post-apocalyptic. I mean, when we get out of the pandemic and the economic crisis causes rioting and really, the seventh circle of hell, which I believe is coming, then we are going to need, to think about that kind of thing. So, yeah, probably a Bowler Wildcat might be the perfect tool.
Nice. I think that's a perfect segue into the last round on sport.
I'm not sure why it's a segue, but we'll do it anyway.
We'll go with it.
Here we go. Let's have the first question, shall we? Who was the youngest world heavyweight boxing champion? Who was the youngest world heavyweight boxing champion? Okay, let's move it on to question 2. I've just worked out why the questions are delayed. Because there's a delay. Yes. Anyway, here we go. What is the official name of the Rugby World Cup trophy? There's one for the Aussies. What's the official name of the Rugby World Cup trophy? Americans won't understand that one. Rugby, it's like American football, only it's played by men. That's the difference. Right, where was the FIFA World Cup held in 1986? FIFA World Cup, where was that held in 1986? I'm going to apologise to the Americans again for that small dig there. Right, question 4. What type of wood is a cricket bat traditionally made from? It's almost as though we're having a go at America here. We've got rugby, we've got cricket. I mean, South Africa, hello. Australia, New Zealand, India, hello. Pakistan, not so much on the rugby perhaps, but anything else. America, though, just so you know, cricket it's spectacularly boring. There is nothing on God's green earth more boring than cricket. You're missing nothing on that one. Right, another one. In which year did the Premier League start? So in which year did the Premier League start? Right, I think that's the final question of the final round, is it not, Rachel?
It is indeed. So it's a really good chance for me to explain the bonus round and how you could win that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity of owning a signed Jeremy Clarkson potato.
I just hope that the poor chap in Idaho doesn't win it. Imagine winning a potato when you're from Idaho. Yeah. Right, okay, good. So, what you can explain this bit, do you?
Yeah.
Explain what they have to do.
So,
or should we go through the answers first?
No, just a quick explanation on this one so people can get started already. So the bonus round today is draw us a picture of your favorite car, be any car, any era, and post it on DriveTribe. So if you post it as a comment in the Jeremy Clarkson Pub Quiz article, currently at the top of the DriveTribe homepage, drivetribe.com, or on the DriveTribe app. And yeah, draw us your favorite car. You've got until the end of the week.
Okie doke. Right, now, shall we go through the answers for everybody?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Can I ask you a couple more questions first?
You can, of course you can. Far away.
Thanks so much. Right, a few questions. We have got Caltaz08 says, hello from Bolton. Do you remember that Millionaire episode when everyone won a grand?
I don't think everybody did, but I mean, as near as makes no difference, everybody did. Were you in the audience? Man with a name and a number at the end of it.
Who knows?
It was extraordinary. It was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Yes, it was, as I said, hello and welcome back to dumb Britain after one of the commercial breaks. I've never done anything like that. There was a girl there who thought SAS stood for, it wasn't Super Army Soldiers, that was Ricky Gervais. What did she think? Special Super Ability Soldiers. I mean, it was just beyond belief. Anyway, I have actually got another series of that in the can. That'll be coming up on ITV. Not quite sure when, but fairly soon.
Fabulous. Have you been watching Quiz as well?
I love Quiz. I love Quiz. Guilty as sin. Just so you know. Guilty. I know that the defence attorney right at the end was extremely convincing, or the actress playing the defence attorney. Anyway.
You heard it here.
Oh, it was great. I thought it was a tremendous. If you haven't seen it, go. Really, it's worth a watch, isn't it? Don't you think? I think it's a tremendous job. It really is.
It's a shame it was only 3 episodes. It was one of those. It was really gripping.
It was. There was a very good stage play as well, where they did the same. They actually got the audience to vote. So they did the whole thing about, yeah, you definitely thought they were guilty, and the audience voted, and then you saw it from the other side. Then you were asked to vote again, and it was interesting to watch how many people changed their minds.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
It was clever. So more questions or?
Yeah, got a couple more. We've got one from Dewan Sun, who says, as we all know, James May happened to be the fastest man on the show. Just wondering, what is the top speed you've ever reached in a car?
You're right, James May did. I was just trying to get that one worked out because, of course, James May is in no way the fastest man on the show. But no, he did. He maxed a Bugatti. I forget the speed at Volkswagen's test track in Germany, which must be 400 kilometers an hour. Must have been. The fastest I've ever driven is 286 miles an hour.
How did that feel?
Nerve-wracking because of the lorries I was having to overtake. I won't say where that happened, but it was just also in a Bugatti. I just wanted to see how fast it went. Yeah, it's bizarre. People think that driving at 200-300 miles an hour is no different from driving at 100. It really, really is. You'd be surprised. You're always conscious of the fact that if something, sorry everyone, if something very, very tiny happens, the consequences are absolutely huge. I mean, look at Richard Hammond. You know, he failed to spot that his tyre was about to burst, which I would have seen, of course. So would you. And you know, bang, tiny little thing like that, and then he was in a coma for until he got his publishing deal. No, he was in a coma for ages, wasn't he? I mean, he was in a bad way. Okay, more questions? Yeah,
we've got one from JSO Delu 2, I think, who says, gas or electric, what's the future?
Oh, God. I want to see gas. No, I see you're talking about gas. Obviously, over here is a thing. It's in the air. It's not a liquid. You mean petrol? But yeah, okay, petrol. Well, as I have said on the show on a number of occasions, I will never buy an electric car. I just won't. They are not for me. They just do nothing for me. I like petrol. I like the sound that petrol makes. I like the responsiveness of the petrol engine. I just like everything about petrol. I don't like the way the electricity delivers its power. There's sort of everything and then nothing. I don't know, the noises, they just bore me. I'm sure lots of people are going to buy them, you know, in 100 years, but I won't be one of them.
There we go. Honest answers. Speaking of answers, shall we run through some?
That's a very good idea. Let's start at the beginning, shall we, with round one. We'll rattle through these if that's okay. This is the general knowledge one. Okie doke, here comes the answer to question one. The most consumed manufactured drink in the world is not, as many people would have thought, Coca-Cola or San Pellegrino or Gordon's gin. It is, in fact, tea. Tea. Don't know quite why it's manufactured, but there we are. That is the most manufactured drink in the world. Did you know that?
I would have gone for Coke.
Yeah, I would have done as well.
Yeah.
Or some stupid water that people drink. Spa, forget Francorchamps, but Spa obviously is in, you'll know this, you're a motoring journalist.
Belgium.
Belgium, absolutely right. Question 3. Yes, there it is, Belgium. Question 3, right. How many pieces are on the board at the start of playing a game of drafts, English drafts?
24, 24?
I reckon it's got to be 4, 12. Oh, of course, I've got to 12, but there's 10. I haven't.
Both sides.
The two sides. Yeah, that was where I'd gone wrong. I was going to say 12, but no, it's 24. Well done, you. Well done, you. Captain or commander, who ranks highest?
Don't know this one.
I think it's captain, weirdly. It doesn't sound like it should be, because commander sounds like, you know, it is captain. That's so, I mean, I'd be annoyed if you're made a commander and then they say, right, we're going to make you a captain. Oh, God, I don't want to be a captain. I want to be a commander.
You'll have to have a word with them.
Yeah.
Get them to change it.
Oh, we've only got 2 ships left, unfortunately. I think they're in the Navy. It's tragic. What type of pastry is used to make profiteroles?
Good old shoe, yeah.
Is it shoe? It is shoe. I was whispering because I wasn't certain. Okay, shoe pastry. That's lovely. So that is round 1.
Have you ever tried making shoe pastry?
Obviously not.
Okay.
You? Is it difficult?
It's a bit tricky.
Is it?
Give it a go.
I'm currently living in easily the smallest house in the whole of human history. It really is microscopic. And the kitchen is 4 feet by 10. Top. What? I mean, yeah, the bar's massive here, but the kitchen is microscopic. The sitting, everything about the house. I'm in a barn, just not in the house. God, it's small, so the idea of cooking anything is impossible. Anyway, the logos, that is obviously Volkswagen.
Yeah,
the next one I didn't know. Did you? You did know this one?
Yeah, Unilever.
I know, one of the biggest companies in the world, make nearly everything, and I don't think I've ever seen. Mind you, everything they've got is a brand name separately, isn't it? So all the brands they own market themselves, the actual umbrella brand. You very rarely see, so I didn't know that. Okay, let's have a look at question 3. That is
Motorola, my second ever mobile phone.
Yeah, I had quite a few of them before I found Nokia.
I have a pink Motorola Razr.
What?
Did you have a pink flip phone Motorola Razr?
I had. Oh, they were without the O, with R-A-Z-R, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. It wasn't pink. It was
okay.
That's Fruit of the Loom, isn't it?
It is.
Fruit of the Loom. That's good.
Are they still going?
I have no idea. Fruit of the Loom still going?
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. Google it, someone. Then whose logo is that?
CBS.
CBS is the correct answer. So that was a thumbs up because I've been offered a drink and I think I'm allowed one again near the end. It's okay, just if you're watching abroad, it is now 7:45 here, so it's way past opening time. Okay.
Our drinks globes, kind of on show.
It's the drinks globe. There's nothing. I haven't actually filled the drinks globe. That should have Galliano in it. And what else? Perhaps you offer some suggestions. Galliano and Bailey's, obviously.
Yeah.
But what else should we put in there?
You probably need some Angostura bitters in there.
Yeah, but I quite like Angostura bitters in a number of things. The drinks globe is for drinks that you would never normally have, and the Southern Comfort.
Oh.
Southern Comfort. There's a drink for champions when it's 2 in the morning and you suddenly go, I fancy a Southern Comfort. Right. Okay. So let's move on to where are we now? Here we go. True or false? True. Lightning never strikes in the same place twice. True or false? What do we think? I think it must do. And there's nothing to stop it. False.
Yeah.
Well, yes, exactly. It must do. Yes, I was right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I mean, it must be able to strike in the same place twice if it wants to. Yeah, okay, fine. Let's move on to the next one. If you cry in space, this is the one that baffles me. Tears stick to your face. True or false? What do you reckon?
I mean, I genuinely would have no idea because, like you said, has anyone cried in space?
It's true. How do they know? How do they know that seems to me weird.
Apparently there is a video of someone crying in space.
I want to see that.
Okay, I'll send you the link afterwards.
Okay, as soon as this is over, everyone, let's go and have a look at someone blubbing in space and see what it was all about. Right, Napoleon Bonaparte was extremely short. True or false? I still think this is a not brilliant question because how do you define different? Right, false. So he wasn't extremely short. As I understand it, he was 5'7".
Yeah, so 5'2", but apparently French inches were bigger than British and American inches. So he was actually 5'7" in normal terms. So
5'7" by any standard that the world. Well, is that extremely short? I mean, Tom Cruise is what, 5'7"? Richard Hammond's 5'7".
I think average at the time was 5'5".
No, I appreciate that at the time. I mean, if you ever go to Bristol on the SS Great, come on, Johnny, work it out, Western Britain, you know, the Brunel steamship, and go and look at the bunks on it. You know, they've restored it. It's a fantastic museum piece. I mean, you can't go now, but when everything reopens. SS Great Britain, obviously. The bunks are just tiny. I mean, like, what, I couldn't even get my leg in one of those, and that was obviously big enough for people to cross the Atlantic in. Yeah, extremely short. I suppose he wasn't extremely short by the standards of the time. It's just we think of him as short now because he was only 5'7". And obviously the Napoleon complex, SMS as I call it, short man syndrome, which Richard Hammond doesn't have. So that's good. Right, your fingernails and your hair keep growing after you die, true or false?
I always thought it was true, but
I thought they did. I mean, a bit, not much, and only for a short time. But there you are, they don't. God, the message must get very quickly down to them. Right, I'm dead. First things first, let the fingernails know, and then they can stop growing. I would have thought it would take quite a long time for the messages to get all the way down here to here. Now your fingernail, right, definitely time to stop growing because I'm dead. All right, fine. So that was the end of that round, the true or false round. We now move on.
One more to go.
No, how many more? 2.
Oh, just the one. Question.
The sport. Right, fine. And then you can send us all your answers in, and we'll and your drawings if you want to, and then we can judge who is the best. Oh, right. No, there's this one, of course. The inventor of the light bulb was afraid of the dark. True or false?
It'd be a good reason.
Yeah, it's a very good reason for inventing it. Alexander Graham Bell suffered from terrible loneliness. There we are. He was afraid of the dark. I believe it was Edison. So there we are. He was afraid of the dark. A lot of people say, no, that's false. Paul Jumper says, I'm the best. Oh, we'll soon find out. Send us your answers. Right, we've got history now. Here we go. Ready, steady, first question. According to the World War II poster, what did careless talk do? Remember?
Cost lives.
It cost lives and didn't sink ships, as somebody said in the comments when it first went along. You're absolutely right. It cost lives. There we are. That's the right answer there. Question 2. In which year did the United States enter the First World War? I did say, and I was a bit rude, I apologize. You were a bit late if you're watching in America. Yeah, we started in 1914, which is the correct time to start, but you got here in 1917. That's the same way in the Second World War, we started in 39 and you arrived in 42. Well, 41, just. So yeah, that's that one sorted out. Question 3, which emperor of Japan ruled for more than 60 years in the 20th century? Hirohito?
I wouldn't have had a clue on that one.
Assume it's Hirohito because he's the only famous one. I mean, they kept him in power after the war, which was I always found extraordinary. Yes, it was Hirohito.
Good knowledge.
I remember his first visit post-war to Britain as he was coming down the aeroplane steps. Actually, I can't say this. It was Private Eye magazine. Ran a very, very funny front cover. Google it. Right, last wife of Henry VIII. We'll say it when I go 3, 2, 1. Who do you think? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Catherine Parr.
Catherine Parr.
You see, you just copied me. Well, are we right? Are we right? Yay! Catherine Parr. We can remember school.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. Okie doke. Right. Last question in the what are we in? History one. Right. Who had a horse called Bucephalus? Now, my initial thought was Caligula, but then I thought, no, it wouldn't be. So I'm thinking, is it Alexander the Great?
I think you might be right.
I'm trying to think of people who had horses. I mean, Genghis Khan had a horse, but I think he had millions of horses. He was just so did it.
Okay.
Why it's just like this on Millionaire? Well, I'm always just made to look like an idiot. All right, good. So that's that round sorted out. Do you want to do more questions, or are there no more questions to do?
Oh, there's plenty more questions.
Okay,
People want to know stuff. So, super chat from Colin Higgins, who's asked, who is your current favourite Formula One driver?
That's a good question. My current, well, obviously we don't have a season this season. Obviously, I'm a great fan of Kimi Räikkönen, particularly now he's driving for Alfa Romeo. I much enjoyed the recent documentaries on Formula One and became rather enamoured of Nico Hülkenberg. I thought he came across as a good chap. To be honest, they all came across, not all, but a lot of them came across as pretty nice guys. I met the two youngsters the other day, George and come on, Jeremy, senior moment, McLaren guy. They were very nice. I mean, they're only fetuses. They still have their umbilical cords trailing behind, but they were really nice kids. I mean, there's a lot of nice guys. Really. It's Daniel Ricciardo, nice guy. I like Vettel. Yeah, lots of them. But I suppose it would have to be Kimi because he's just so funny. Yeah, and he drives an Alfa, so he's God in my book.
Have you met pretty much all of them? No, I don't know.
No, I haven't met Clark, the clerk. And it's been a while since I met any of the Formula One pods. Spent some time recently with Christian Horner. He's a nice chap, and he's quite honest as well, which I like, about Formula One and the issues and so on. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to the season getting going, obviously, as I'm sure everybody will. Yeah.
No, hopefully it'll be back soon.
I'm also looking forward to the football season, either finishing or getting going.
Yeah. Monday.
What? Chelsea are fourth, that's fine. We'll move on. Actually, we'll be third because Man City won't be. Yeah, we'll be third. Happy with that. Anyway, yeah, more questions?
Right. So, Jack, who has said, where do cars go after they're used in the Top Gear specials?
Now, well, obviously Top Gear, the BBC owned them. So the BBC, they went down to, a lot, went down to the Bewley Motor Museum. Sometimes there are quite complicated import-export taxation rules, which means they have to stay where they are. I mean, one of the saddest things was John, the car we used in Mongolia. We couldn't export it back to Britain. It had to be scrapped in Mongolia, which I was heartbroken by. Same story really with the PBR, the boat I used in Seaman. That stuck, I think, in the Cook Islands or somewhere, the Philippines. Endless wrangling. But anyway, they all obviously belong to the BBC, and the BBC still own them. But obviously, the Grand Tour, it's different. James Richard and I own them. So the Jeep Wrangler that I used in Colombia, that's currently up here on the farm. The Alfa Romeo GTV6 from Cornwall, I use that, well, when we're allowed to drive, I use that quite a lot. What else have I got here? The Excellent, of course, is here. Yeah, so we spread them out. I think James has got one or two. Hammond obviously still owns Oliver. He bought it from the BBC. Yeah, so I think some of them that really strike a chord with us, we will bring them home.
Nice. And Secret Companion, who said, will you be doing any car reviews on DriveTribe, and happy belated birthday?
Thank you very much. And what was the question?
Will you be doing any car reviews on DriveTribe?
No, as we've explained, DriveTribe from now on is the big adventures. These were the things that were pulling in the big ratings. These were the things that I suppose that we enjoyed doing the most. We had done Ooh, very, very many years of studio work and audience work, and you have to write those, and you have to film those, and you have to film segments for them, and it's fantastically time-consuming and, you know, exhausting. And it was getting to the stage where we're starting to think, I've kind of done everything, time for someone else to have a go at this kind of thing. But traveling around the world, I still think, despite the efforts of, I don't know, Gordon Ramsay or whoever, we're still pretty good at that. I still think we make some great shows when the three of us are together and we're somewhere odd, driving something that we shouldn't be driving and doing things we shouldn't be doing. I think we're good at that. So yeah, that carries on.
Nice.
But not doing.
And speaking of adventures, Kyle Crossland would like to know, will you ever do a show in Sri Lanka?
Oh, I went on holiday in Sri Lanka down in the south, Gala, in 18 months ago. What a fabulous place. I would love to go to Sri Lanka. The only problem is there's another motoring show that went there recently, which rather, you know, we tend not to follow in their footsteps. We've got some pretty good ideas of where to go and what to do for the next 12, 18 months. So we're in good shape.
Nice. And Vincent has asked, what's your favourite Grand Prix?
Well, it depends on, I mean, the Canadian Grand Prix always throws up the sort of best racing as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, Canadian Grand Prix, I should think. Yeah, that's my favourite.
There we go. Shall we give people some answers to some sport questions?
Do that. Okie doke. Here we go. These are your answers.
My least favourite round. Not so good at sports questions.
Well, what I'm trying to do desperately is end this before 8 o'clock, so we will have completely missed Channel 4 News, which is very important. God, it drives me. You ever watch it? They've completely given up with the idea of being unbiased. It's extraordinary. Anyway, here we go. Youngest world heavyweight boxing champion? I'm guessing Tyson. Yeah, that's the only one I can think of. Let's see if that's right. I don't know. I've literally no idea. Mike Tyson. Like, you go, Mike Tyson. Don't know what I've really heard of. Okie doke. Question 2. What's the official name of the Rugby World Cup trophy? I'm going to take a wild punt on William Webb Ellis here. Who's the guy? All 3 of my kids went to rugby school, so I ought to know this because that's where the sport was invented. And it was when William Webb Ellis exactly picked up the ball and famously ran with it. Right, that's good there. So that's that one. Question 3 is, where was the FIFA World Cup held in 1986?
Not a clue.
World Cup. No idea. Where was it held? Can't remember. It wasn't Japan, was it? No, definitely wasn't. There we are. It was Mexico. So well done if you said that. No, I haven't got a clue where that had been held. Well, I'm sure. Actually, it doesn't even ring any bells now. I know the answer. Okie doke. Moving on. What type of wood is a cricket bat traditionally made from? Do you know that one?
That one I do know. I think it's willow.
I think it's willow as well. I hate cricket. That somehow that
yeah, that's my favourite.
Crept into my head. Pretty certain it's willow. And it is willow. Well, we did a thing. We did a sports question. Final question of the of our quiz. And in which year did the Premier League start? Early 90s is when it came out. That's what I was thinking. 91? 91? Yeah. Shall we have a look? Let's have a look at the right answer. Oh, there we are. So 92 when it started. So let me just see if I've got this right, Rachel. What we'd like you to do now is send us your answers, right, on whatever means, some electronic means, I'm sure. And then tell us your score. And then there's this tie-break art drawing type thing that will enable someone who's got a high score and is good at drawing a car to win a signed potato from me. Is that about right?
Pretty much, yeah. Quiz side of things, just let us know in the comments what score you got. We'd love to know. And then get drawing those cards and post it as a comment on DriveTribe any point before the end of the week.
And I have to say, James May always says something at the end of something he does here, which I never understand. Swipe, hit, lick. What is it? Lick.
Yeah,
what do we have to do? Like, comment, and subscribe. Is that right?
That's perfect.
There we are. Like it, comment on it, subscribe to it. And that, I think, is a goodbye from me. I'd like to thank Rachel very much. Are we done? We are done, aren't we?
Yeah, we've done all the questions, all the answers.
All right, lovely. I'd just like to, on that basis, say a big thank you to Rachel and to Lucy, who was behind the scenes on another part of the screen you can't see, for their hard work, setting the questions and so on. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a shambles and I didn't really know what I was doing. But if you have enjoyed it, you want to see another one, let's see if we can get Richard Hammond online. Imagine him doing a quiz. Actually, have they got Wi-Fi in Wales? I'm not sure they have. But if they have, we'll find out. We'll ask him. Okay, well, all of you take care. Stay very, very safe. Don't catch this infernal virus. It sounds ghastly if you do get it. And just, yeah, hunker down, drink yourself silly, and we'll see you on the flip side. Take care, everyone. Bye.